Thanks for joining Veiled Magic today as we take a look at Duke Dantalion. If you enjoyed this video, and would like to see more like it, please subscribe to our channel. Dantalion, an enigmatic infernal duke. The enigmatic figure of Dantalion occupies an uneasy position straddling demonology, grimoire magic, and the left-hand occult path, spanning the divide between classical Judeo-Christian texts and heretical Renaissance-era writings on ritual magic and Kabbalistic invocation rites to access otherworldly guidance and abilities. Characteristics variously ascribed run the gamut from sinister to surprisingly benign depending on interpretation. Etymological derivations of the name show variations like Dantalion, suggesting possible roots in ancient Semitic solar deities that underwent transformation and demonization under expanding Christian hegemony. Understanding Dantalion's unique nature benefits from tracing the entity's earliest mentions through associated texts to discern key descriptors and functional abilities before contrasting against other classes of demons referenced concurrently during these periods. Initial appearances: the arcane spirit variously titled Dantalion or Dantalion first emerges in the late Middle Age compendium text Ars Theurgia Goetia, dating somewhere between the 14th to 17th century. This sprawling directory of spirits intimates Kabbalistic origins due to extensive borrowing from Solomonic legend and classifies dozens of demons within complex hierarchies detailing physical attributes, abilities, appearances, governing domains, sigils, and recommended hours for conjuring rituals intended to compel obedience inside protective magic circles. Goetic role and rank. Within the institutional framework outlined in Ars Goetia, Dantalion holds the noble rank of Duke, commanding 72 legions of lesser demons, a number bearing significance in Kabbalah. As a great leader of Hell's armies, Dantalion receives summons from magicians seeking to influence antagonistic relationships by engendering empathy or sowing dissension through skilled sophistry and shrewd understanding of deep psychology. Physical descriptions: the Goetia describes Dantalion manifesting in human guise during ceremonial workings, appearing as a man with a countenance both wrathful and serene, suggestive of the entity's mercurial temperament. His handsome noble visage wears multiple shifting faces of men and women, alluding to mastery of glamour and identity fluidity echoed in shape-shifting prowess. Illustrations depict Dantalion variably winged, or riding a dragon, holding a book teaching secret arts and sciences. This strongly indexes the elevated intellect and scholarly erudition notion reinforced through other clues in his capabilities. The allure of Dantalion, a closer look at the demon's influence to powers and abilities. Dantalion reputedly unveils the deepest thoughts in every person and dispenses sagacious counsel on all affairs and situations. He teaches expertise in all arts and sciences according to one's capability, hinting at instrumental tutelage tailored to the magician's merits and magical will rather than generic rote formulas alone. Dantalion can purportedly incite love and concord between adversaries, or dissolve bonds by engendering enmity, suggesting proficiency sowing interpersonal influence through intuitive psychology and even psychosexual magnetism. These nuanced social engineering proclivities exceed brutish aggression, instead displaying cunning statesmanship. The Goetia further ascribes his governance over the temporal world, hinting oversight regarding material ambitions, wealth and earthly success themes. As a purported gateway guard to divine illumination, Dantalion also holds the keys revealing profound metaphysical secrets. The manifold shifting faces imply mastery over all identities, appearances and glamours, facilitating infiltration across social contexts from brothel to court. Echoing dragon imagery, hence occult teachings on transcending mundane limitations through alchemical self-transmutation. Contrasts within occult demonology. Contrasting Dantalion against other classifications in occult demonology literature provides more context. For example, the notorious demons of the Ars Goetia associated with cardinal sins display single-minded fixation promoting greed, lust and toxic vices rather than multifaceted personas. These manifest to chain the sorcerer to destructive appetites through addiction. By comparison, Dantalion seems associated with subtler soul calculate manipulation through magnifying mental entanglements. Unlike the tunnel vision hellions provoking obvious carnal indulgence, vainglory and cheating to make binding pacts, Dantalion applies leverage, surgically targeting emotional vulnerabilities, ideological blind spots and hidden insecurities to covertly thwart the adept's moral integrity and mental clarity. Where diabolism evokes selling one's soul in dramatic sudden declarations, submitting to Dantalion perhaps ensnares one incrementally through creeping compromise, akin to the proverbial frog failing to notice gradually heating waters until boiled alive. Dantalion epitomizes the archetype luring seekers astray through overinflated intellectual pride in one's magical prowess, and inflated self-reliance, precipitating a disastrous fall through underestimating forces beyond current comprehension. Pre-modern mentions. Earlier possible emergence of the entity called Dantalion traces to Solomonic tradition from pseudepigraphical testament of Solomon grimoires originating between the 1st-5th century CE containing occult elements passed down from antiquity. Chronicler Joseph Peterson traced linguistic roots potentially derivative of ancient Canaanite storm and fertility god Dagon, or Hebrew Adonai meaning Lord. Indeed, Dantalion's shifting guises intimates a trickster chameleon persona appropriating identities for ensorceling purposes. The 14th century Munich Handbook of Necromancy also features an infernal spirit named Dantalion behaving as an alternate name variant of demon typified elsewhere separately as Andros, who sows discord by provoking mutinies. This may suggest later scribal errors splitting the Dantalion figure across divided listings when codifying disjointed fragments from earlier Canaanite stela carvings and tetragram glyph sigils into the standardized Goetic catalogues popular among medieval ceremonialists consulting grimoires outlawed by church doctrines. While Dantalion exhibits language correlations and powers evoking parallels with other catalog demons from forensic grimoires, ambiguity on origins still proves problematic due to lack of external validating evidence. However, analyzing key theories on categorical demonic entities in theological context better frames knowledge gaps about all diabolical spirits shrouded in mystery. Materialist skeptics dating back to the Enlightenment era often deny any veritable existence for demons altogether as mere personifications of ignorance toward confounding phenomena related through superstition. This viewpoint ignores supporting eyewitness accounts referenced in exorcist reports and occult artifacts from crystal balls to preserved reliquaries holding contracts allegedly signed by ancestors binding descendant fates through transgenerational curses and ritual offerings appeasing resident entities. In rebuttal, phenomenological approaches acknowledge the reality of demons resides in tangible impacts upon believers and surrounding communities through shaping cultural perception, informing traditional remedies, and directing group dynamics around shared awareness of otherworldly forces visible across all major faiths. Assessing effects proves more pragmatic than disputing truth claims on ephemeral beings with capacities for deception. Invoking the principle of radical empiricism balances subjective experiences and intersubjective consensus. Moreover, anthropologists have long documented cultural affinities in demonic archetypes tied to transitional phases marking physiological milestones like puberty or psychological states akin to traumatic stress disorders that breach normative boundaries when suppressed shadows and personal shortcomings manifest externally until resolved through ritual healing ceremonies restoring psychic equilibrium. These intimations of interchange with externalized beings as alter egos to our forgotten aspects persist from Dantalion's shape-shifting features to the night demons clutching sleepers tightly in medieval lore. Structural homologies liken them to the role psychopomp shamans playing midwife during the death-rebirth cycle. Dantalion thus aligns with transformative Luciferian light-bringer figures hinting the magical keys toward apotheosis lie not through appealing heaven but by reconciling our own hells within first.